Yeah, EverCrop's been operating in 3 major different rainfall zones around Australia. The uniform rainfall zone, where the focus has been on perennials in cropping rotations, such as lucerne and other grasses. In the medium rainfall zone, we've looked at integrating perennials into a cropping system on erosion-prone soils. And that's looking at how subtropical grasses can be grown with cropping in the same year. And in the low rainfall zone, we've looked at what options there might be for marginal soils that cropping farmers find risky and often unprofitable, and how can perennials such as shrubs and possibly grasses come into those zones and provide a better feed base for land that otherwise wouldn't be highly profitable for cropping. Well, risk management's a big part of what Australian farmers do in their mixed farming systems, and even though cropping's a dominant part of the farm income, livestock's important to these mixed farming businesses, and perennials have the opportunity to improve the feed base, to improve the risk management within that livestock enterprise as well. And that's really what we're focused on in EverCrop.
We've got a mixed farming enterprise in the low rainfall farming area, and we've got an annual rainfall of 250 mil and a growing season rainfall of 160 mil.
In the low rainfall zone, a big research outcome has been looking at the potential fit for a range of perennials, not just shrubs, but also introducing a potential role for grasses on sandier soils, and also looking a lot at what the difference performance might be across a range of soils, because that's not necessarily something that's been looked at heavily in terms of something like shrub growth.
During the winter months, you've got the balance between the shrubs being a medicine and the rest of whatever the plantation is, whether it's cereals or grasses, being the food source, and in the summertime the perennials become the food source and the stubble becomes the medicine and a bulk. So trying to get all of the elements together is really, really important, and that's where the science comes in. We need the science to help us produce this package that can be then not just on my property, but can be expanded to other properties in the district and state and country for that matter.
Big research outcome in the medium rainfall zone in Western Australia has been looking at just this novel system of pasture cropping, how you can introduce subtropical grasses successfully and allow farmers to crop these rather fragile soils and still gain an important feed base through the summer and autumn months for the livestock.
We introduced the perennial grasses in this paddock to try and get some more production out of the paddock. We tried putting a lupin crop into them to boost up some of the nutrients in the soil, and the lupin crop went so well that we decided to try wheat on lupins in the perennials to see how that would go.
Perennials in this northern wheat belt area, they've given us the ability to go and crop paddocks which are at high risk of wind erosion. A paddock like this produces poor quality feed. Summer grazing is virtually out of the question. The perennials here have enabled us to stabilise the paddock. We've got great feed. We fill that autumn feed gap, take advantage of early rains, and Grant here is taking it to the next level by putting a winter crop over the top, which is giving him additional income when he's not really needing the feed. So all around it's a pretty good thing.
In the uniform rainfall zone, a big research outcome has been looking at how farmers can better transition between crop and pasture and the role of cover cropping, and generated some real thinking about how we can better do that in terms of shifting from pasture phase to crop phase.
Here in the southwest slopes area park, about an 18 to 19 inch rainfall, run about 4,000 acres and cropping 75%, and the other 25%'s self-replacing merino flock. So pasture's a big issue. We found it through the drought with just lucerne on its own, even though we could get it to establish, not in a cover crop situation. When we got established, we just had a lot of bare dirt, lucerne and bare dirt. So we needed to get something in there to spread the feed source right through the winter as well. And the phalaris and the cocksfoot in these trials look like they're showing up pretty well.
GRDC have been funders of EverCrop through the CRC phase, and now they've picked it up to continue on after the CRC. So the next phase is continuing on, and the big opportunity now is to move from these regions where we've been focused and look at how far we can push these things into different regions, and using some of the tools that have been developed through EverCrop to analyse what the best fit might be in a whole range of new regions.